Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SHOUTcraft presentation. It's the Daily Motion Cup for 5,000 euros. I bring you Diestar in the purple trunks. He's from Team Millennium, and he is playing Terran here on the SHOUTcraft plateau versus his opponent, the one and only Nerchio from Team Empire. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg. Nerchio... There we go. Mic is fixed. Oh my. Mic button. So terrible. As I was saying, Nerchio is proving... everybody wrong, I think, right now. Feels like, who's Nerchio? Nerchio can't stand up to these guys. Pfft, no, Nerchio is awesome. Nerchio is absolutely fantastic. He's a wonderful player. He's awesome. As you can very clearly see. Very, very good. Very good indeed. And he's been dominating his opponent. I mean, Diestar did get a lot better that second game. Good drop harassment, as you can see. A lot of economic damage done. The thing is, Nerchio had so much of a cushion to absorb all of that. He wasn't even concerned. Oh, I lose 8 or 9 Zerglings, or I lose 8 or 9 drones. Don't care. It's all good. I'll just replace them. Diestar killed, I think, about 50 drones that entire game, whereas Nerchio killed barely any, and it didn't actually make a blind bit of difference. So there you go. Nerchio is currently up 2-0 in this series, and is looking to try and take a clean sweep. And if he does, then it's going to be quite the final, let me put it that way. Diestar barracks on his way up, and what is Diestar going to do to actually come back from this? So far, the Hellions, the first time around, were useless. And to be fair, they probably will be on this as well, because if you look, have a look at the natural expansion, for instance. This is very easily walled off. Nerchio could do the same thing that he did on the first map, Neo Enigma, and he could wall this off against Hellion harassment. So, I don't know. I have to think that Diestar's going to have to do something a little bit different. Now, he hasn't got any gas, which indicates to me he's going to go with a fast expansion once again. He has the successful wall-off. Unless he's going to go for some kind of really early multiple barracks pressure, which, by the looks of it, is not going to happen. I would have thought he'd have the second barracks up by now if he was actually going to do that. He's not going to do that, of course. This will be the expansion. We'll be able to keep up with Nerchio at least for a time, anyway. Diestar quick scout right there, sees what he can see. Nothing unusual. Nerchio opening up with the same thing he always does. His build is solid. There's nothing wrong with it. More to the point, what is Diestar going to do after that? Here comes the expansion, but is he going to transition into a multiple barracks play, or is he looking for Hellions? The Hellions just, they haven't worked out for him. Nerchio seems to be so good at dealing with Hellions. And we perhaps criticized Moro a little bit for not dealing with them so well, but really, Nerchio just, he doesn't care. He's totally chill when it comes to Hellions. Oh my. I'm looking forward to it. Nerchio's a great player to watch. Very, very entertaining. We're going to have to get him on for some show matches in the future. Second refinery coming up right here for Diestar, and still no other units. Double refinery play indicates factory, perhaps. Or indeed starport. He does have a second barracks to follow it up right now. We'll see what he decides to do with it. Admittedly, bearing in mind that he's been very late on the gas, it's just worth grabbing 2 refineries anyway, so... we still don't really know what Diestar is planning on doing. Spine Crawler coming up right here for Nerchio, and that's all sorted out, nice and secure. Diestar is looking really defensive right now. I actually don't blame him. He's in a really bad situation at the moment. Obviously 2-0 down. This will knock him down to the... I wouldn't say losers bracket, but it'll knock him down to the playoffs. Diestar, he's a great player, he really, really is, but Nerchio's just been on a whole other level lately. It's crazy. Working so hard. Worker supply count heavily in favor of Nerchio. It's to be expected. 30 drones to 23. Looking for... there's a reactor coming up right there. Is that going to be for a swap, or is this just going to be a multiple barracks play? He already has 3 out. Looking for the swap around, so I can only imagine it's going to be a Hellion opening again. Look at this, he's doing the same thing. This is so smart. Emulate this if you're Zerg, unless you're playing against me, in which case don't. But if you're not playing against me, emulate this, because this is great. Using the evolution chamber as a partial wall-off. Now, Nerchio does not have roaches coming out right now, so he's not quite as well prepared, but he does have time. He can use the queens to wall this off very nicely, and it can also create a choke point whereby he can do a good surround. It's a bit dicey. He's actually going for Lair this time around and not going for a Roach Warren, so even if he tries to block this off, it could be a little difficult, but he should be able to pull it off with 2 queens. There's still an area where he can slide through, though. It's not a complete wall. Now, the previous time he did this, he used Roaches, and this time it doesn't look like he's expecting the same play from Diestar again. Now he knows about them. He is well aware. There's the Roach Warren immediately, and look at that. Nerchio's Zerg Warloff. And it is good. It will deny the Hellions very easily. The question is, will Diestar continue to build them? He's got 4 on the field right now. I think he'll probably poke with it and then maybe transition into tanks. The thing is, if he does that, he's going to be in the same situation he was against Nerchio last time. That's the crazy thing about what Nerchio's doing right here. Every time he denies this, Diestar just transitions into tanks, and then Nerchio kills him. It's kind of terrifying, really, isn't it? Baneling's on the way for Nerchio this time, which is a little bit of a deviation. Diestar, are you getting through there? No. This is Nerchio's base, and one does not simply walk into Mordor. 6 Hellions. Continues with this pressure, and it's going to be really dodgy. I mean, he can roast these, but he doesn't have Infernal Pre-Igniter. He's not invested in it, and getting through this is going to be really difficult. He doesn't know about this Warloff, though. He's about to find out. Oh, sup! However, Nerchio caught up position, or is he? It's a trap! Ah, my God! My Hellions! My Hellions! Oh, Nerchio, you sneaky individual. And in the meantime, here comes the counter-attack. Oh, what does Diestar have? Well, he's got good army supply, but I'm more concerned if those all become Banelings out of nowhere. That's gonna be messy. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. He runs into the base, and what does he see? He sees a bunker. Banelings, maybe? Banelings? Well, the thing is, he's also got a Spire on the way, so he really doesn't need it. Nerchio's completely switched up his tactics this time around. Diestar hasn't, which means Diestar is, I don't know, maybe this works better against Nerchio's new set of tactics, but what I'm concerned about is the fact that he really doesn't have a huge amount on the field in order to deal with that many Mutalisks that could come in. He's got the Spire up, there's already 6 coming in. He's got Banelings with speed on the way as well. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Fell right into that one as well. Okay, Nerchio. Take another base. You know you want to. He desires it, folks. He's a macro Zerg. Nerchio. Oh, Nerchio. What you building? That's a lot of mutas coming out, Nerchio. What you planning on doing? Let me guess, it's not polite. Nerchio is not one for the manners, folks. He cares not for them. Now, Diestar's base is looking a little bit... It's very much undefended. He does have 1 missile turret. He's able to pick off a couple. He's going to force those Marines back. He is. He does have a few more... He doesn't have a huge number. I thought he was building more than that, actually. He was building 6. I'm fairly sure he just cancelled a bunch of them in favor of Zerglings and upgrades. Once again, spreading all the way across the map, and Nerchio's army count is a little bit behind, but more to the point, he's got this highly mobile force that's going to cause problems for Diestar. Running right into the middle of that, which obviously is not all that sensible, but he was able to deny that missile turret for the time being. And I think what Nerchio is going to do here is he's not going to go heavily into air for the moment. He's going to try and make his opponent overcommit to anti-air defense, and then he's just going to roll him over on the ground. It would make sense. Diestar moving forward, rolling out once again. What do we have? Siege tanks, 4 of them. Does anyone remember this situation coming in the last 2 games? I certainly do. The question is that going to work? Nerchio's already got speed Banelings, and he has level 1 melee attack upgrade for them. 17 Banelings on the way for him. Diestar's just not even... It's like, no! I'm not going in there! Mutalisks wheeling around and spotting expansion timing. They don't see one, but there is one coming up, so you should be able to see where exactly that comes in. Diestar deploying once again, and Nerchio is just being a little bit careful. Here's the thing, though. Diestar actually doesn't have a Viking, which is going to mean that fighting Banelings in this area is going to be horrible because of these bushes. He's not going to have the vision that he needs. He's going to be forced to scan. That and the fact that Nerchio is just wheeling around, playing with him completely here. Well, I don't know. This is looking really bad for Diestar. Really, really is. Had someone in the chat say, TB is so one-sided. Yes, I tell the truth. I suppose the truth has a bias, doesn't it? Idiots. Diestar is able to at least hold this line, but still, without a Viking, this is not so great on the visibility. Oh, it picks off another tank as well. Nerchio, very nicely played. Diestar trying to hold it, but still, oh my. It's just... It's really hard to watch, honestly. You know, I'm a Terran player, I love Terran, but Nerchio is just picking him apart right here. Nerchio, needless to say, is expanded again because he can. Another force of Mutalisks, and he actually has 18 right now. Will he be able to deny this expansion? He's certainly going to be able to do damage to it. Keep an eye on that minimap, folks. I want to see what's going into that tank line. More Marines moving forward. +1 upgrade, plus shield, plus stim. Not ideal. Not at all. Nerchio holding this one nicely, and Diestar just stuck in the middle of the map, unable to actually move out anywhere. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of banelings. 39 banelings and 11 more on the way, folks. That will make a grand total of 50. Nerchio is able to clean up right here as well. There's not enough anti-air defense. And I have a feeling that this one attack's just really going to ruin Diestar. The reason I believe this is because of lack of Viking and lack of visibility. Diestar falling back as all of his add-ons get devastated by a large force of muters. And what that's going to give to Nerchio is a lot of map control. 50 banelings on the field, looking for level 2 upgrade on the way. It's going to take a while to get there, admittedly. And Diestar now redeploying, which is going to give Nerchio the ability to go wherever the hell he wants. He can expand here, he can also expand to the bottom as well, if he so desires, and no doubt he does. If we have a look at the units killed, you can very clearly see Nerchio is doing pretty damn well. Admittedly, a lot of Zerglings have been killed, but in this situation, that doesn't really matter. You can look at the army count resources lost, and you'll see that Diestar is slightly behind, and Nerchio has a very severe economic advantage. You can see the mineral count very close as a direct result of the mules, but that will not last all that long with 4 fully functional bases right here for Nerchio. Once again, keeping map control with these Mutalisks, and he might even be able to pick off this. He actually can as well. Oh, wow, he could maybe take 2, but he doesn't want to risk any more mutants. That was actually kind of surprising. I would have thought he would have stayed for maybe 1 more shot. He could have taken both of those out quite nicely. Wheeling his way around and trying to pick off some more Marines, and doing a good job of doing so. A couple of Zerglings in the line as well. Those forces are actually looking very, very weak indeed. He even took a siege tank shell there. That's not so good at all. Nerchio's still holding nicely, and those banelings remain unscouted. Diestar has no idea how many banelings are going to be coming his way. Looks like Nerchio's just going to wait for the level 2 upgrade and then go for it. He's got a hive, and he has a fairly severe advantage. His army supply is a bit behind. I mean, there are a lot of tanks there, don't get me wrong, but still, I am very concerned about what would happen to those tanks if the banelings came in. I'm actually kind of surprised not to see Nerchio doing any kind of baneling drops there. Once again, the Mutalisks try and deal with that. They're not able to. I'm surprised he doesn't go to try and pick off some more tanks, really. He had an opportunity, but right now he's just trying to hold his opponent back for the time being. Nerchio is now supply capped, folks. More Zerglings coming on. He now has 67 banelings, which is a lot of banelings. I don't know if there's any objective number for what a lot of banelings actually is, but that is a lot of frickin' banelings. Now mutants into the base once again. Economic damage is coming in. Level 2 flyer attack upgrade is coming in. In the meantime, Diestar is trying to push forward. However, those banelings are there, and this is going to be risky. Diestar still doesn't have the Viking, so he doesn't have amazing visibility right there, but it looks like it might be good enough. And the banelings have been spotted, but that was only one group of them. Mutalisks continuing to gut the production facilities of Diestar right now, and there really is no response for him right now. What's he got? Well, he's got a few Marines who just stimmed in right there. Nerchio decides he doesn't want to risk it. In the meantime, once again, Diestar inching forward. This does remind me of the previous games. Level 3 melee attack upgrade coming in. 76 banelings ready to rock and roll. And Diestar is in a fairly good defensive position, but if he ends up getting flanked, then this is going to be problematic for him. Now into the mineral line of that 3rd base. Diestar getting starved out quite nicely here by Nerchio. You can see the economic situation there in black and white, or in this case in red and purple. It's not what you want to be in. Oh no. Diestar is in trouble. Nerchio is patient. Nerchio cares not for your flippantry. Nerchio is just waiting for whatever the hell he wants. He has control. He needs to try and pick away at the siege line and deal with it. Now bear in mind that Diestar is actually clearing away this creep, so those banelings aren't going to be quite as mobile. That's a bit risky. Diestar now rolling forward once again. I'm just waiting for when he decides to actually go for this. He doesn't have a Viking. He could roll down this hill and do massive damage, and that's exactly what he's going to do! Charging into the line. Where's the flank? There's the flank, as you can see it coming in right there. Charging through the line. Banelings! Oh, God! That's a lot of damage, but he didn't actually kill everything. You would have thought Diestar has a good spread right here. That was actually really wasteful for Nerchio. Nerchio is going to have to come back from that quickly. Nerchio can afford it. Don't get me wrong, but still, I would have thought that would have cleaned up an awful lot more. Diestar has great tank spread. Very good tank spread. Oh my. Now pushing forward and now trying to seize the momentum. Looks like he might even get it. Nerchio's going to lose that hatchery as well. Nerchio's going to bring in some units immediately to deal with this. Zergling's coming down, but there's nothing really there. He does have Broodlords on the way. There are a couple of Vikings coming out, but nowhere near enough to deal with that many Broodlords. Especially not if we get a few more Corruptors on the field. Broodlord's about to complete. They should be able to clean this up quite nicely. Bear in mind, Nerchio can afford that. It's not about efficiency, folks, when you have the economic upper hand. You don't need to worry about that kind of thing. Bear in mind that he also did huge amounts of damage to the production facilities of Diestar. Diestar lost a lot of add-ons and is continuing simply to build Marines. Here come the Broodlords, and tell me where is the defense against that? Unfortunately, he's caught out of position, or is he? No, he's not, because Nerchio was prepared for that. Oh, yes, he was. Charging into the line again. And more to the point, stopping those Marines from killing his Broodlords. Now, Diestar in full retreat, and this could be a nasty cleanup right here. It's looking very, very likely indeed. Banelings charging through, cleaning up everything. The Thor survives, but only just. That siege line's just been ripped up, and the Broodlords now gonna clean up the remains of that. Those Thors won't be able to hold it. And those Thors, of course, I mean by one. Admittedly, Nerchio doesn't bring along any Corruptors with him. He's going to need a few in order to deal with those Vikings, so we're now tearing through those very expensive Broodlords. Not ideal, is it? Not at all. Wow. Okay, Nerchio. That was kind of unfortunate, really. It's like, such a great charge. Oh yeah, we forgot any kind of air defense. All of his Broodlords now being torn up. Still, look at this. Diestar just trapped on those 3 bases right here. Not getting any expansion for Nerchio as of yet. He's just going to stick with the 4 for the moment. He's got plenty of minerals still to come. But it wouldn't surprise me if he looks for it again. Diestar holding the middle quite nicely. Plenty more Vikings. Air superiority is firmly in favor of Diestar, and Nerchio's going to need an awful lot more Corruptors if he wants to deal with that, or indeed maybe even get some kind of ground attack, get some Hydralisks on the field just to try and clean up those. It's just, Hydras now wouldn't be so good. I mean, running into those tank lines. Funnily enough, there actually aren't all that many tanks there. And Nerchio, I think, actually has what he needs to charge that. I think maybe he believes there are more there than he thinks. Look at that. Oh my, look at that. There's actually not that many, at least there weren't. There are now. 5 more Broodlords on the field, and we do have some Corruptors. Do we have enough more to the point? 8 Vikings versus 9 Corruptors? Yeah, it's pretty good. Diestar's holding this area nicely, but he could end up getting flanked, and that's a drop from Diestar. Where is he going? Going for this base right here. Do we have any defense? We do have Zerglings that are charging up, and they do have level 3 melee upgrade, so that's a bit nasty. And let's go check the upgrades of Diestar. Diestar's on 2-1, so he is behind just a little bit. Diestar unable to really get any kind of drop play going on right now. Wants to snipe off a few Overlords, but there's plenty spare, so I'm not concerned for Nerchio at all right now. 9 Broodlords now moving in with Corruptor Escort. That's 11 of them, and this line is probably going to get torn apart. It's looking pretty likely. He does have the Zerglings, and he's got a few Banelings at the back just waiting. He's got 72 Zerglings, so if those Marines decide to charge in, that's going to end up being problematic. It could end up being a massacre. In come the Zerglings right here to back it up. Now, the question is, can he actually clean out that Viking count right here? That's what he's looking for. The Corruptors are actually getting torn up. He isn't able to deal with it. All those Broodlords will die as a direct result of that, but the siege line of Diestar has been destroyed. Can't do any more damage with it, and he will end up losing those Broodlords. The thing is, Nerchio can afford to repair them. What? Repair them? What the hell am I talking about? Replace them, you imbecile. Yes, indeed. They have a 90-day money-back guarantee at Zerg Superstore, and the Corruptors don't think he's going to have enough firepower to clean this up. Corruptor DPS is really not very good, as you can very clearly see right there. He casts the corruption, but it doesn't matter. Diestar gives it up. He knows he can't stop it. GG, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Nerchio cleans it up 3-0. Complete whitewash, as you might say. But to be honest, Diestar played extremely well, but Nerchio's just on a whole other level right now. He really, really is. There you go.